All right.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Motivational Mondays. We'll give everybody just a moment here to get started. And Christian and I are looking forward to a great afternoon with you here.
Absolutely. It's rainy here in New York. It's a rainy Monday. What do you got, Melissa, in Ohio?
Oh, we have a windstorm coming in. I can feel it coming in off the lake. It is windy, but it is the perfect day for a webinar. That's
Well,
what I
whatever you have today, I'll get it in 12 hours, right?
I'll send it your way. I'll
All
send it
right.
your
Sounds
way. So, Christian, as we're waiting for everybody else to come on board here, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you introduced yourself last week, and for those who didn't join us, if you could share a little bit about you.
All right. Well, thanks, Melissa. And thank you, everyone, for tuning back in if you came last week or tuning in for the first time if you missed last week. But my name is Christian Klug. I've been in real estate for about 20 years now. I live in upstate New York, just outside the Albany area. I started out as a real estate appraiser. Then I became a broker and a realtor, had my own brokerage. I ran that for about 10 years, grew it to over $100 million in sales, and then joined the Howard Hanna organization about 2 years ago. So I'm now a district manager with Howard Hanna, and I am totally pumped to be co-hosting this Motivational Mondays with Melissa and excited for the content that she's going to share with us today.
Oh, we have a great day planned. And yes, I am Melissa Crockett Willis. So I started back in the business in the late 80s and saw a lot of changes over the years. So I'm excited to share some different thoughts and ideas with you. And just as we did last week, when Christian was, more of the host, I was answering some of your questions. This week, Christian's going to be, answering some of the questions and preparing those below. So when you on your Q&A, feel free to ask any questions. Ask any questions in the chat. Christian's going to be monitoring that. We're going to be talking for about a half an hour, and then we will open it up for Q&A.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll be monitoring all that. Got my clipboard out to take notes. So put them up in the Q&A in the chat, and then at the end, we'll do the Q&A.
Perfect. Sounds good. So last week, Christian shared with us a little bit about his family. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about my family here, and this having just a little bit of a trouble here with my. Okay, so my family, I have a husband and 3 older daughters, and one of the things that we love to do is to travel, and especially this time of year. When when you're home, you just dream about traveling. And this is a picture of one of our last vacations that was first of the year when we went to the Grand Canyon and had a great time. So in all of this time that we've had to think, I've been thinking a lot about some of our past vacations and what some of our vacations have been. So one of our favorite ones was to Atlantis in the Bahamas. Anybody ever think about going to the Atlantis? That has been on a lot of our minds lately. But about 15, 20 years ago, we went to the Atlantis, and it was beautiful. It was gorgeous. And every morning, first couple of mornings, we'd walk up, go to the pool every day. So I go down this one path, I go straight, I turn the corner then and go down this beautiful path with these trees and go right to the pool. And it took 2 or 3 days to just start getting right into your routine, doing the exact same thing every day. I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. And so finally we told our girls, we said, all right, girls, each of you can pick out one thing that you want to do on this trip. And so my one daughter said to me, she said, Mom, I want to go parasailing, and I want to go parasailing with you. Well, many of you know me. This is about my reaction when she said, let's go parasailing. I am afraid of heights. I don't do roller coasters. Parasailing was just one of those things that just made me so nervous. I'm like, Corey, are you sure you want to go parasailing? Yes, Mom, I really want to go parasailing. It's the only thing I want to do. And my husband's like, well, you did tell her she can pick anything. So I said, okay, we're going to do it. So we arranged for the next day to just go on this joint little partner parasailing. So we had this great instructor. And he said, don't worry, you just have to, I'm going to give you some words of advice. I can tell you're a little bit nervous, probably because of my sweaty palms, because I was shaking, because of the fear that was in my eyes. So he said, okay, I want you to remember, listen carefully to my instructions. Do not be paralyzed by the fear. Take a deep breath. Open your eyes. Embrace the pause. And just be in the moment. Well, yeah, that all sounded easy enough. Except that I had that, adrenaline going. I was so nervous. So as he gets us braced in there, and as we go whisking up into the sky, I kept repeating to myself, don't be afraid. Take a deep breath. Open your eyes. Embrace the pause and be in the moment. And let me tell you, I was terrified. It was one of the hardest things I kept repeating to myself. So all of a sudden, I could felt we got to the top, and I opened up my eyes, and it was absolutely gorgeous. All of a sudden, I just felt this wave of just calmness come over me as I looked at the beautiful landscape surrounding me with Atlantis, because it was a perspective that I never saw before when I was just going through my little path, when I would always take the same route. So as I'm looking down, I look down and I see, oh, there's the pool I always walk to. There's the one path that I walked down. But look at everything that I was missing because I was just going down that one path. Then I thought, wow, there's another pool that I can go to. And another one. And who knew there was a fourth pool in the back? It was such an eye-opener for me. Then I saw the slides that everybody's talked about. And I saw the second set of slides that I never even knew existed. And there was the beach that I didn't even realize. And if I had not gone up on the parasail that day, I would never have seen that perspective. I would have never have looked at Atlantis in that way. So it really made me think about what we're going through right now. What if we're always taking the same path that we do in our business, in our life? What if we never really take that time to embrace a pause, to be in the moment? And I looked at the opportunities that we have right now to reevaluate, to look at our lives, to look at our business from a completely different perspective. Imagine what we'll find. Imagine if we just rise above everything right now while we're put into this pause. If we listen to our instructions, what will we find? It's almost like a whole new mind map. You just picture this whole mind map that's a little bit different. And you go in the one door and you think, okay, so now what's out there for me? What does my business look like? Where do I begin? Are there more pools of opportunities that are out there that maybe I had not explored before? Do I always get in the same routine and do the same thing? Maybe once I get past my fear, I can find other ways opportunities to identify, to take action. What can I begin doing? It's almost like when you have time to think, you're like, wow, what was I missing? What can I possibly take advantage of that maybe I didn't before? So there has to be a formula for success, right? So one of the things that we try to do is be that wayfinder, and I've been doing a lot of reading, and this Martha Beck, who is a life coach, talked about some practical wayfinding. That a wayfinder is someone who can steer clear through any type of terrain and in any type of circumstance. This is a skill that you're born into. We've all felt it before when we try to maybe avoid conflict, when we act on an odd hunch. With training, we can learn to access those wayfinding skills at any time, especially times like this during some adversity and during uncertainty. And as we navigate, and yes, even thrive through this, it changes us and everything around us. We call this wayfinding. It's finding our way. It's navigating to some of our new opportunities. It's an ancient set of skills that are already present in all of us. We just have to use them. But is there a huge formula for the success? Well, of course there is. Sort of looks like this. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that complicated. The formula for success is really quite simple. E plus R equals O. Yes, write that one down. E plus R equals O. That's it. Nice and simple. So what does that mean? E is the event. In this case, it's the coronavirus. The event could be anything. It could be that winter snowstorm. It could be the economy. It could be your upbringing. It could be, you know, a hurricane. I mean, the E is the event. And the fact is, we have zero control over the event. We can't control it. The event is the event. But then there's the R. The R is our response to that event. And our success is completely determined by the R factor. We have 100% control over the R and how we respond to the events in our lives. Our event is not, I mean, our outcome is not determined by the event. It's determined by the R. Every day, every hour, we are faced with our decisions. What are our actions that we're going to take? What actions are we not going to take? We look at the outcome that we want. How do we envision our business? What are our goals? You know, we all have this vision in our mind. And sometimes, you know, we realize that we cannot change the event, but we can change our response. And that will completely change our outcome. You know, if you choose the actions that we will take, or not take in pursuit of the goals, I mean, that's what's most important. We choose to be a wayfinder. We choose to find our path. We choose to find new paths every single day, depending on, you know, what our responses are. Look at a couple different businesses. I mean, there are 2 seafood restaurants that are near me. Both of them were faced with the same the same event. Okay, so here's the sign that sits in front of one of them right now. Closed due to the effects of the current COVID-19 situation and government suggestions to avoid restaurants. Until further notice, sorry for the inconvenience. That's how one fish restaurant had their response. Here's how another one did. They chose to embrace it. They chose to take action. They chose to have their response and look at it from a completely different way. And yes, this is what their lines of activity look like on Friday, because they changed the way that they operate a little bit. They thought, okay, we're given this set of circumstances. What's our response going to be? You know, once we understand, once we embrace this, you know, this E plus R equals O as a way of life, it changes absolutely everything. You know, we learned that the fact is, no matter how much wishful thinking, we cannot change the E. We cannot change the events we encounter. But we also recognize that we have 100% of control over that R and the response, and that will change our outcome completely. So let's look at this a little bit deeper. A lot of us spend 90%, 100% of our time thinking and talking about the E. How many conversations have we had about the coronavirus? And you look at it and you think, okay, what does that look like if we spend all of our time focusing on the E? You know, we stay focused on the news. We learn all of the different stats. What's the latest update of today? What's happening? What's the latest headline? We start getting in a trance, watching TV. Oh my goodness, Disney closes. Oh, the market plunged. Oh my goodness, now we're sleeping everywhere. We're on the couch. We're looking at the latest headlines. We're looking at all the graphs and curves and headlines, and all of a sudden we're just like ready to pull our head out, right? Because it gets too much to absorb, and it's nothing that we can control. Absolutely none of that we can control. And if we stay obsessed with it, if we stay focused with it, well, then we know what our outcome is going to be. It's not going to be much after, as we go through this. But on the other hand, we're lucky because we have the opportunity. We have the decision-making ability every single day to focus on that 90% and that 100% on our R, on what we think, on what we say, on what our vision is going to be, how we're going to control our days. So what does that look like? We look at it when we focus on those R's. Starts with our gratitude. What's our gratitude every day? That tends to put everything in perspective. When you focus on what your gratitude is every day, it really has a very big impact on your outlook for the rest of the day. So if you have, and it's more important even to share your gratitude. So maybe if you haven't said your gratitude today or shared one thing, maybe you might want to add that to the chat box right now. Maybe just add in what's one thing that you're grateful for, you're thankful for, your gratitude for the day. Also, listening to music. What a great way to start the day. Listening to some music, listening to some of your favorite songs. It all of a sudden just sets the mood. I think we learned that at HannahCon last year. Have a playlist with your 5 favorite songs. Start every morning with that. It makes such a difference to your whole mood. That's, again, one of those R's where we can change our response for the day. Pick up the telephone, make a phone call a friend, call a past client. It's amazing what that'll do to your mood for the day. Take a walk, get some exercise. We need to stay motivated and exercise, and not only treat our brains right, but treat our body right during this time. These are all R's. You feel better when you can get outside, enjoy some fresh air. Write a handwritten note. Thank people. They love to get the handwritten notes. Make your list for the day. Get on another podcast, on a webinar. Start learning a new tool that we have. And of course, create memories with your families. We're at the time when we are at home more, this is a great time for building crazy memories with your families. I love seeing all of your Facebook pictures. I saw the picture of, Kim Crane and her family as they were doing a dance outside their mom's house for their birthday. I see the Easter Bunny peeking in windows. I see people making signs, doing different things with their kids, having TikTok, videos with their kids. I just passed, Julie Maroos just had a great one the other day. I love that. You're creating memories with your family that you never would have in this. These are all ours. I have 2 of my husband and 2 of my daughters are teachers. They're always looking at, okay, what are the kids going to remember after this pause that we have? Wake up every day, you're feeling invigorated if you know you are in control of the decisions that you make. It's going to completely change the outlook, and especially if you do some of these things every single day. Just the outcome will be exponential of doing this. But there's a couple of tips to remember. One of those that I always believe in is never start a day until you've entered it on paper. Now think about that. Never start a day until you've entered it on paper. That's right. You have to write things down. Just think about when you take your next vacation, or actually when you took your last vacation. How productive were you the day before you went on vacation? Pretty productive, huh? Why? Because you wrote everything down. You had a sense of urgency. You needed to get things done. That's why it's so important. I like to call it an accomplish list, because I used to write things down as a to-do list. And if you have a lot of things on your to-do list, sometimes it's like, oh, look at everything I have to do. But if you put it on the accomplish list, it's like, wow, look at everything I can accomplish today. Christian mentioned it last week in the Motivational Monday. He talked about, what is your win for the day? What's important now? So I look at that as the R. That's your R, your response. That's your win for the day. What's important now? So just think if every day, every week, you kept your accomplish list. Now, the way I work mine is I have these personalized accomplish lists that I make every single day. The top 3, those are the 3 items that are unequivocally, without a doubt, going to get done. I am going to make sure that those items will happen. There is not a doubt in my mind. And so those are the top 3 things. Then I write other things down, so that way I can cross them off when I go through. So there's nothing like crossing off items off the accomplished list. So it might look something like this. So today, I'm going to write 2 handwritten notes. I'm also going to call 7 past clients, friends, or sphere. And I'm going to attend today's Hannah webinar. So those are the 3 things, no matter what. When I go to bed tonight, those will be done. But I'm also going to spend 30 minutes learning BySide. Cross that off the list. Boy, that feels good. I'm going to update my Howard Hannah website. Whew, got that done too. Cross that off the list. I'm going to take a half an hour walk. Sure, sometimes you need you to remind yourself and write that on your accomplished list as well. I'm going to send e-cards to my database. Oh, by the way, I loved all of the Easter cards I was receiving yesterday from all of you. So thank you, because I know you've been busy doing that. Check that off the list. I'm going to read for 30 minutes because it's feeding my brain. Cross that off the list. And I'm going to create my first Facebook video. I know a lot of you have been busy doing that and crossing that off your list too. And of course, I'm going to watch a video on Hannah U for the education of the day. Perfect. Boy, can you imagine? What would be your outcome? How is your business going to grow exponentially if you focus on an accomplished list like that every day? It could be amazing. Now, many of you have noticed this little graph here that's been floating around on the internet. And I thought this was great to include right now because it goes along with everything that we're talking about. Who do I choose to be during the COVID-19? And it shows the different zones here. So you have your fear zone, your learning zone, and your growth zone. The fear zone, that's almost like me holding on so tight when I was getting ready to go on that parasail. You get irritated, you panic. These are the people who are acting like a victim or looking who to blame, and they're hoarding the toilet paper. Then you start going into your learning zone. Like, okay, I can start letting it go of a little bit of control. I stop consuming what causes me harm, from the news or what I would choose to drink. I make a program for myself to use. I recognize that everyone is just doing their best during this time. Well, then you start going into the growth zone. And that's really where we need to focus on right now and throughout this. Because when you really focus on thinking about others and how you can help them, how you can live now and you have a clear picture of what's next. Because again, you're focusing on your R. How you're not in the waiting room or this in-between stage of life or what you're going to do next. I mean, how do I want this moment to be? What my instructor said for the parasailing, be in the moment. That's what we have to do every single day, be in the moment. And how do I be appreciative and grateful? Starting with our gratitude. So where do we find some of the information to write on our accomplished list? Well, that's easy because we have so much information that's coming to us that's right in our hands right now. The town square, we have the message that comes out from Moby. We have all of the links to all of the webinars, that maybe the ones that you missed the previous week. Hobie's Town Hall, last week's Motivational Monday. And how about the CARES Act, those seminars that we had? I mean, what company provides us with that invaluable information? If you did not catch that, be sure you go back and look at one of those past links. Amazing information. Then we get to look at what other people around the company are doing, to add to the community. Here's where Betsy Forbes in the Howard Hanna Willoughby office delivered meals to the Lake County Health Department. We get to see other positive news from our Howard Hanna agents. We get to look at this week's webinars. If you simply start by even looking at your town squares, not to mention what your offices and your managers are doing and all the other emails that we get with different links, you will never be at a loss of what to do to feed your mind and feed your brain. So now let's talk though a little bit about what's out and what's in. What's out? Not making your bed in the morning. That sounds like a simple one, but boy, does this change your whole mood. When you're home every day and you wake up and you start the day with making your bed in the morning, that's an instant mood changer. What's out? Turning on the news first thing in the AM. In the morning, don't just turn on the news. You're going to start filling it with some of the negative energy. What's in? Listening to your favorite music in the morning. Let's start every day that way. That's part of that response change. All right, might be a hard one for some of you. What's out? Binge watching Tiger King and Netflix. All right, so what's in? Ken Coleman, one of my favorite professional gurus, just tweeted out, you should be binge watching, listening, and reading those who are masters of what you want to be doing right now. Let's study business people. Let's study agents who are more successful than we are. Let's look at our peers. Let's learn from them. There's a lot of sharing that's going on. Let's listen to these, different panels that we're having, different educational opportunities. Let's binge watch that. That is what's in right now. And it's that response that can control your outcome. Out, using phone mainly for text and emails. I mean, who would have thought, right? 2 months ago, everyone was just emailing, everyone just texting on their phones. Oh, people don't like to talk on the phone. Guess what? Talking on the phone, making phone calls is in right now. So who do you call? First of all, you can call anybody. Anybody wants to know and receive that call. Hey, how are you doing today? Are you making it through this? What are you doing? I was just thinking about you today. Everybody loves that phone call. But also think, if you've been an agent for a while and you have these past clients, you are playing one of the most important roles in their life right now. You sold them the home. You sold them the home that they're in, that they're spending all of their time in. I mean, what great call to make to some of your past clients. I mean, how about the person who fell in love with their kitchen 2 years ago and that's why they bought the house? To say, wow, I bet you're really enjoying your kitchen right now. I was thinking about you. You must be cooking a lot of food in those kitchens. How about the person that wanted each of their children to have their own bedroom? Huh, I bet that's coming in handy right now. I was just thinking about you in those 4 bedrooms. Boy, you bought that house in the nick of time. You know, reaching out and making the phone calls, letting people know that you're thinking of them. I heard something recently that said, now is the time to aggressively nurture friendships. It's also the time to aggressively nurture relationships. All those relationships with your past clients, with your sphere, it's more important than ever. So really look at it. Pick up the phone and make those phone calls and be aggressive with those. What's out? Focusing on the stats of the coronavirus. Stop. That's out. People are worried. Oh, I know where the curve's flattening. What's the statistics? What's happening? No, 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 no. Let's make that out. What's in? Studying the real estate market and sharing facts and trends. Let's look at our trend graphic. Let's know what's happening in each of our markets. I mean, did you know that the average price in Avon Lake is up 24.3% in March of 2020 versus March of 2019? Let's share those stats. Let's focus on those market trends. What's out? Doing what everyone else is doing and blending in the crowd. What's in? Being a green penguin and doing things that are a little bit different to make us stand out. And boy, are we doing that. I have never been so proud of all of you as agents, of the company that I work for, of the marketing department, the education department, just all of the managers, all of the leadership. You have been absolutely amazing. And I think it's time when there is adversity, when there is uncertainty. I mean, anyone could look good when the market's good and when we're not faced with the ease of the world, the events. But when there are certain people, certain companies, certain leaders that absolutely step up to the plate, and you're all green penguins. I mean, look around you. You have offices like the Lakewood office who are making videos and sharing their thanks to all of our teachers and nurses and everybody that's in the world. We have agents like you, like Christina, who's making a YouTube channel and who's practicing video. We have Kobe Hanna, our Midwest our residential president, who is spending hours in his sweatshirt, in his Howard Hanna sweatshirt, of course, who's talking to all of us in his town halls, answering questions, facilitating panels, just hanging out and chatting to making sure that we're all comfortable, that we know what the company's doing, taking that leadership role. And you can turn in your questions ahead of time. It's unbelievable. So if you haven't turned into one of the town halls, go back and listen to one or ask questions for an upcoming one. This is not every company has green penguins like this. We have agents who are sharing how they're doing virtual tours, virtual open houses, like Erin. We have loan officers like Rob who are doing TikTok videos, and they're helping to bring in business. We have office meetings going on. I've heard people saying, I have never felt so together with my office. There has never been such a bond. And we're all apart at our house. But no, we're actually more together than we ever been. I mean, how about Kate Lesor working on all of the training, bringing that to us? It's unbelievable. The education department, kudos Jackie Castera and all of the Green Penguins there. All of the managers who are keeping agendas going, who are keeping the meetings going, keeping that structure, keeping us fully communicated with. Virtual tours that are happening. and sharing amongst the offices new listings that are still happening in a safe way virtually. We are absolutely surrounded by green penguins. We have, agents, top agents, like Karen Bondro, who are sharing ideas, with others on what it's made to be, what's helped them be successful. That's the binge watching. This is the binge watching that we need to do. And they always say that, you're the average of the top 5 people that you're surrounded with. We are all surrounded by green penguins. And I have never been more proud of all of you. And, it's so important just to keep that up. There's another one, with what the education and the marketing department's doing, coming up with all of these graphics that we're sharing. I mean, here's where Kyle Recker shared one. It was phenomenal. So, it's just this green penguin attitude. This is all of us embracing our R. This is all of us embracing our responses to what's been happening. And boy, are we rising to the occasion. And our outcome, if we continue with this at this pace, is going to be like nothing we have ever seen before. So sometimes we just need a little reminder of our E versus our E plus R equals O. So here's one tip. Google Jack Canfield and Urban Meyer. They are this is one of their trademarks, the E plus R equals O. Christian shared a book that he liked last week, and I wanted to share one of my all-time favorites, which was Jack Canfield, The Success Principles. Love that book. And sometimes we need that little reminder. Yes, I have the E plus R equals O little bracelet that I often wear. And it's just that reminder, like, okay, what am I focusing on today? Am I focusing on my R? You don't have a little bracelet like that. Well, maybe a little rubber band or something that you can just sort of pulling off if you start focusing on the E too much. And one final message, be kind always. And this is something that is so important. And I think sometimes we still need to remind ourselves of that. First and foremost, be kind to yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. We're all going through different things. Be kind with what you eat, what you drink, how you exercise, and be kind with what you put in your head. It's a lot of what I just covered today, but it's so important and it's a constant reminder. And be kind to others. Be kind to others. We are in charge of our response. We're in charge of our response to ourselves. We hold each other accountable to that. Let's make sure we're very kind in our response to others as well. This is something that is so important. There's a bond that's between us that we all need to be here and support each other, encourage each other, and be kind. One of my favorite mentors was Howard Brinton. He used to say, get out of judgment and into curiosity. And I've repeated that so many times to myself lately. Just get out of judgment and into curiosity. I think it's so important. And with April being Fair Housing Month, Hannah Casey put into her Monday Morning Minute, diversity is respect. Respect of others' choices, even if they are different from your own. Just look around and see the rainbow of incredible people you work with today. I have been seeing the rainbow of incredible people I work with every single day, and it's just nothing short of amazing. And I think we really need to appreciate that. And finally, when you take that moment, when you are in that pause and you're embracing that moment and you're managing that R and managing those responses with every action that you take, it starts getting very exciting when that pause starts to come to an end. As I was coming down off that parasail, I just couldn't wait to explore the new opportunities that I discovered, to go try new things. I knew I was ready. There was a calmness about me. There was an excitement about me. There was an adrenaline because I knew exactly where I wanted to go. I had a plan of what I wanted to do, and there was nothing that was going to stop me from doing it all. And if we embrace our pause, and if we are in the moment, and if we let go of the fear, and if we open our eyes, and if we manage our R, we will be nothing short of having such an amazing outcome. as we go through this, as agents, as a company, and as people helping people. So that is my motivational message for today, is to manage your R. And I'd like to turn it over to Christian with some questions that we might be able to answer from some of you.
Well, oh my goodness, Melissa, there was so much good content in there. I've got a clipboard full of stuff. Bunch of questions came in. And if you guys have more questions, put them on the Q&A or the chat. I'll check both as we finish up here. A couple of quick questions that came in. Where do we get those bracelets? We want those bracelets. Can we get them in the Bob shop?
Well, we'll have to work on that. I had mine right here. Okay. It's my husband. My husband's a high school football coach. And on the other side of it, it said Madison football.
Well, we need some green ones. When you put up that slide, immediately I was like, I want one of those bracelets, because I think that the E plus R equals O. I mean, it's so simple, but yet when you said that, no one here, including myself, went, oh my goodness, like we all know that, but yet how many of us, and I admit I'm one of them, has spent way too much time over the last week or two talking about the curve and this and that. It's like, but I can't control that. So who cares about the event? Let me think about my response. So I think you need to get that on the Bob shop.
Okay.
We got to get that made.
We're working on that. That's on my accomplished list for the day. Okay, we're going to work on that. So.
Perfect. The other, the most asked question we got, Melissa, was, hey, can I get copies of your handouts? Can I get copies of this and that? So what I want to tell everyone to do is just email Melissa or myself. A couple of people asked from some of the last week's handout. Shoot us an email, christianklug@howardhanna.com.
Melissa Willis at howardhanna.com.
Shoot us an email, and we will send you whatever slide or handout or book list that you wanted. So that was one of the most asked questions. The most interaction we got, Melissa, is when you started talking about what are you thankful for, and everyone was just listing what we have to be thankful for: our business, where we live, we're in America, we're healthy, we work in a great industry, our company. And I tell you, Melissa, when you were sharing about what opportunities exist because of this, my coach told me that this is an opportunity of a lifetime, because it will probably never happen again. And I think that's so true. The last couple of days last couple of weeks, I've spent so much more time at home with my kids and hiking. Sure, I want this to be over just like everyone else, but let's take advantage of that opportunity. So I just think that was great for you, Melissa, to really focus on. We need to be thankful and really just set back for a second and go, what do we have to be grateful for? So thank you. So that was our biggest question, was where do we get the bracelets, and how do I get the handouts? Okay.
We will make sure we get those to you. Absolutely. And
awesome.
With it being, I love that these are on Monday, because now we can start today. We can start this week. I mean, look at everything that we can do. I think this is a perfect week for really focusing on the R. We've settled in with everything else, and let's really take advantage of everything that we have the opportunity to this week.
Yeah, there was one other note I made on your seminar. You said that don't turn on the news first thing in the morning, and I actually said, don't turn on the news. Just like, seriously, it's not any better in the afternoon. In the afternoon, guess what? It still all sucks, right? There's nothing good. So instead of turning on the news, let me put something positive. Maybe tune into one of the webinars that Howard Hanna has, or some of the training. I cannot agree more that we have this opportunity to put good things into our mind instead of the drama and the craziness of the world out there. And the other thing that you said, Melissa, which, oh my goodness, I just loved, was to make phone calls. Right now, we can't go see people. Text messaging, social media, look, I love all that stuff. But picking up the phone and just calling someone and go, hey, how are you doing? I remember Brian Buffini had shared one time in one of the seminars, the top 10 uses of a cell phone. And like number 9 is the calculator, and number 10 is making a phone call, right? Like there's 9 of the things that people use a cell phone for before making a phone call. But right now, there's such an opportunity to call people, because chances are they're going to answer, because they're just happy to talk to another adult, right?
Right. Isn't it the truth? Absolutely. Everybody's waiting around it. And plus, people want to know that you're thinking about them. I mean, what if best, it's the best compliment to anybody that, hey, I was thinking about you today.
Yeah.
There's nothing more important that we can be doing every single day than doing that.
Yeah. So, those of us who work on maintaining and building our relationships further during this time are going to come out of it with an even stronger business. This business is relationship based, and everything that you're talking about, we can control our relationships. That is part of our reaction. So great. I think that's all the questions I had. Thank you.
Good. So Christian, why don't you give us a little bit of a sneak preview as to what we're in for next week?
Well, so I actually didn't know what Melissa was going to be talking about. She sent me her slides late last night or early this morning. I looked over a little bit so I could kind of gather what she was talking about. But it goes along perfectly with this, because if you are like me, I get distracted throughout the day, right? Like, I know what I should do, but I don't always do it. So you listened to Melissa today and you said to yourself, yes, I know what my reaction needs to be. I know what I need to do, but then what happens is you get distracted, right? So I'll be doing a presentation I called Focus, and each one of those letters, Focus, stands for an acronym of what we can do to help eliminate distractions from our life and help us focus on what we really want. I almost guarantee it's going to be helpful for you. So hope you turn in next Monday at 1 o'clock now, 1 o'clock next Monday. Thank you, Melissa. That was awesome.
Perfect. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in for Motivational Monday. Thank you, Christian. We'll look forward to next week. And everybody have a fabulous day. I know you will, because you're going to make it that way by managing your R. Have a great Monday.
You have to end it.
All right, I'm ending meeting for all.